Domencio was a street dude. He was one of Brooklyn's street legends. Ghetto superstar. Dude that didn't want to settle for any mediocrity. He didn't just want to be the regular Joe. He wanted to get paid. And paid he did get. He surrounded himself with a lot of players that was doing things at the time, like Jesus and Can Do and a lot of other people that was doing things and making things happen. Now when it was coming up, it was the crack era and things was right in the late 80s. But like with most players, a lot of dudes that was getting money and moving bricks in New York, it was difficult. You had to stack a lot of bodies. A lot of people tried. And plus, out of town was where it was happening at. You was getting more per kilo, more per brick. So your product was going longer. So like most people, when you want to be successful, you got to surround yourself with people that think like you. People who's trying to better themselves, who's trying to elevate, who's trying to take it to the next level. People who's trying to get that major money. Domencio was one of these dudes that found himself in the company of people that was getting it. So by him being in the company of dudes that was getting it, he himself started getting it. And so you were attracted to the rides, you were attracted to the truck jewelry, the nice clothes, the big money. With the money, you can take care of a lot of people. With the money, prestige, reputation, a lot of people want to be seen with you. A lot of people want to get underneath your wing. So now at that time, DC was the place to be. A lot of people from Brooklyn was migrating to DC because what we was paying for brick, we was getting a lot more in DC. So it was common sense. It made a lot of sense to spread out and make that move. Now you got a lot of people that didn't want to leave New York, but Domencio wasn't one of them. He, like a lot of other people, decided to make that move like Shalimar and go explore, go lock down a piece of DC that they could call their own, where they could set up a little headquarters and make some money. But the thing about it, you got a lot of people that were selling weight, but there was always, some was also breaking down product and selling 50 pieces, 100 pieces, things like that. Retail, get more per key. Now, a lot of people was influenced by that movie Scarface. After people watched Scarface for maybe 10 times or whatever, they started believing that they could be just like Scarface. So you got a lot of people that want to be like Mike. A lot of people want to be like Scarface. A lot of Brooklynites stepped out. And you know how Brooklyn mentality is. They're not trying to work with nobody. They're trying to take over things. They're trying to take it. Domencio, with his soldiers and counterparts, went and took the terrorists, started making money. There's different approaches when you go and do things. The general consensus is you could butch kid your way in and just take things, or you could supply work to the people who live there and merge your crew with theirs. So everybody's happy because they're making money, hand over fist. Other people's approach is they're just gonna come in there gunning, and whoever's the resistance is gonna get wiped out. Domencio was loved. A lot of people was feeling him. A lot of people liked his style. He had that flash, he had that charisma. He knew how to deal with people, interact, and a lot of people was feeling him. But you also had a lot of people that was jealous of him. You know, with anything else, the jealousy, the envy is right there for the people who can't get along. They can't see nobody having more money than them. They can't see nobody being more fly than them. They can't see nobody driving a nicer car than them. The jealousy becomes a factor that they can't get around, they can't get past. Especially, you got an individual that's a playboy. He got the females flocking. He don't have no problems with them. You might be trying to pull something that he pulled with ease, so there's friction building. Friction. And we all know when jealousy and friction, envy, the pot get to stirring. Things get to stirring up, start bubbling. Start bubbling. That's when things get dangerous. Now you got people that got plans for you that you don't know about. Sometimes you think everything is love, but then you got people in the wings that's plotting on you. They plotting. And when they plotting, enemy of my enemy is my friend. They plotting and they stirring up other people, putting batteries in their back, putting poison in their ears against you. And that was what was going on between Domencio and this cat from Harlem named Alpo. Now, as I said, during the late 80s, early 90s, DC got hot. A lot of people from New York, period, was down in DC getting money. They was getting money, and them DC dudes was tight about that. A lot of them felt that New York hustlers were stepping on their toes. and they clicked together and formed the anti-New York campaign. And the bodies started dropping. In 1991, D.C. was at the height of the crack explosion. 482 homicides in D.C. that year, the most lethal in the past 30 years, according to federal criminal stats. Right? So now you got New York dudes and you got D.C. Some people are working with others, they meshing, they networking, they making it happen. And some dudes from DC is just not getting it. They're not getting, so, and they feel that New York is taking their money, taking their women, so they tight about that. They want to run New York dudes up out of there, so they start sending them home in boxes. But the killing going both ways. And when the killing's going both ways, things is getting hot. When things get hot, you understand the feds start stepping in, they start sniffing around, and dudes start getting knocked. Now, as I said before, sometimes when you're moving in the same brackets, you're doing the same numbers, you a street legend, you getting money, and you got other dudes around you that's getting money. Y'all might be playing with the same females. You know, some dudes don't take that serious. I mean, you know, if a female ain't your wife, you don't really take that serious. She's just somebody you might be knocking off or whatever, you know. But one man's trash can is another man's treasure. When one man's garbage is another one's treasure. So what you might take lightly, another man might take seriously. Right? So now, one man take it serious, and decides to take your life. Not over money, over a female. Well, some people will say over a female, but then some people will say it's a respect thing. How can I hold my head in the street and expect people to respect me if somebody is disrespecting me with my lady or with my girl and they throwing my name in the mud, slinging my name in the mud? I'm not here to judge. To each his own. You understand me? But me personally, I feel that when you're making money, females is all around. You lose one, there's 10 more where they came from. I'd never take a man's life over no woman. But like some people say, some people believe it's a diss thing. And the way certain people carry it, it's not bad if somebody might be dealing with somebody you dealing with, but when they start dragging your name in the street and putting it out there, it's like they're trying to hurt your rep. so other people take it serious. But in retrospect, if you look back in time, was it worth it? You got to ask yourself, was it worth it? And am I going to put somebody's face, put somebody's head out over some broad that might not be worth 25 years of my life or whatever? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is it worth it? Was it worth it? Snuffing out somebody's life over a skirt. Was it worth it? Like, share, subscribe if you like this story. Help the channel to grow. This is Steppa on Steppa the Flatbush Don TV. Peace, love. Stay free, stay strong. Stay right.